all yours.
Hello, everybody. What's happening? I am Demetra K, and this is Donovan throwing rocks and hiding his hands to D. And this is the edition of To the Hard Way, where we gonna give it to you hard. Rough. I'm just playing.
Yeah, the way I like it.
That's a different show, y'all. No, but in all seriousness, first, I would just like to say rest in power to Winnie Mandela. As you guys know,
Yes.
she passed away yesterday.
Terrorist Winnie Mandela.
No, she was a freedom fighter in the cause of black cause of black liberation. As you guys know, she was married to Nelson Mandela.
She was labeled a terrorist by the white.
Yeah, she was labeled a terrorist, a kidnapper, and all this other stuff. But we know how that goes. So anyway, she passed on, went on to glory yesterday. And so I just like to say again, rest in power to her.
Right.
And
Breaking news real quick. Clarke's wife spoke out today. So we're going to follow that up.
Oh, wow. Well,
And thank you, Shantae.
That's a whole other controversy right there, too.
Mm-hmm.
But so anyway, just, to Winnie Mandela, rest in power.
Yes,
power
absolutely.
to the people.
Power to the
Amandla,
people. Yes.
as she would always, say.
Boomake.
All that, okay?
Boomaye.
All that. All right.
Sorry.
You just had to go there, didn't you?
I did.
All right.
Sorry.
So anyway, let's get right into it. Now I'm going to read my notes because I don't want to miss anything. We've seen quite a few tragedies unfold within the last few weeks, and we've seen quite a few responses to them. The responses from the murder of Clarke and the responses from the Parkland High School, I forget the name of the school, but tragedy. Anyway, the shooting, both shootings have garnered some pretty epic responses. Now, after the murder of 17 students and adults, several students took the world by storm. David Hogg and Emma Gonzalez have brought a lot of attention to the whole gun violence and gun reform issue. Mm-hmm. They started many protests and one of the largest marches in the history of marches. As you guys know, they had millions of people all over the world a couple weeks back marching to bring attention to gun violence. They started the whole hashtag enough is enough. You had celebrities, just all kind of people out there in support of what they were doing. Basically saying that there needs to be some stricter gun laws. And as you guys have also seen, they've been in direct opposition with the NRA, who has, taunted them, doing a whole lot of things. And so, along with some of the responses that have taken place, David Hogg, who I guess is the student, I think he's probably like 17 or so.
Yeah, he's a senior.
He's young, but he has, I guess, taken on the forefront, the leader of this whole thing, and he has actually taken Laura Ingraham, who is the most bigoted and racist white woman, I think, walking the planet.
Even though Laura Ingraham does like brothers. Okay.
Oh, does she?
Yeah, she likes brothers.
Okay. Don't they all? But anyway, and so he labeled her a bully because she was taunting him and making fun of him,
not getting into schools.
That he didn't get into the schools, the colleges that he applied for, even though he has almost like a 4.2 grade point average. And so he called her a bully. And he, on his Twitter page, has 1 million followers now. On his Twitter page, he listed all the people that sponsored her and asked everybody to boycott. And to this point, from what I saw, over 8 major sponsors have dropped her. And
I don't know if you know this quick update. Laura Ingraham went on a pre-planned vacation.
Well, yeah, that's what they're saying, that it was pre-planned for Easter.
Yeah.
So she did end up
But Bill O'Reilly did the same thing, and he never came back.
Well, she ended up rendering an apology, and he said to her, you know what, you're only apologizing because you're suffering the consequences. You aren't sincere. And then along with that, he, talked about all the other people that she's bullied. When she was in college, I guess she bullied gay people. And then most recently, LeBron James, she told him to shut up and dribble. So this kid who was 17 took her to task. And a lot of people haven't been able to do that. So as I said, a lot of people have moved away from her. Big sponsors like Jenny Craig, and just huge. We're not talking about some little mom and pop stuff. We're talking about huge entities.
And let me ask you this. You're a highly educated woman.
That's what they say.
How many people of us that came out of high school didn't get rejection letters from colleges that we wanted to go to? Most people get those letters. That's
true. Most people get rejection letters. However, the fact that, I don't even know how it came out that he got rejection letters. Who is this lady to taunt him and make fun of him?
She's an evil Republican,
okay, that's
right
what I'm
wing.
saying. So whether he got the
Witch.
rejection letters or not, I mean, this is a child. And
Right.
as an article I read as well, said that and the article was chastising him, but saying at the same time, she should remain the adult in the room.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's where she lost the argument, in addition to all the other nonsense that comes out of her mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you are such an evil witch to where you would stoop down to the level of a child
Right.
and just get in the sandbox with him, if you will.
Right.
Not that I'm saying he's in the sandbox.
Well, and what do I say all the time? I don't debate children. As an adult, I don't have time to debate children.
Right.
So.
Well, but she has an audience that loves when she does
Nice
that.
Christian audience.
Right. Okay. And so now in the other case, regarding the murder of Stephon Clarke, as we know, he was murdered a couple weeks back by the Sacramento Police Department. They shot at him 20 times. Ultimately, he was hit 8 times.
And I've got to defer.
Mm-hmm.
He was not murdered. It was an accident.
Okay, it was
He had a. We thought he had a gun, and then we thought it was a crowbar.
Right. It's an accident. Oops.
Right. Oops. Sorry.
Nigga
did.
That's what their go-to is. Oops. So he was shot 8 times. Ultimately, most of them in his back. He was in his grandmother's backyard. They said he was running.
Breaking windows,
and all
and
sorts of
cars.
stuff. That's never been proven whether he was doing that or not. Ultimately, he had a cell phone.
And by this, let me get some clarification. He was hit 8 times.
Yeah, he was hit 8 times. But
He was shot at 20 times.
Right. So
for breaking into supposedly cars.
Right, but nobody.
Why would you use deadly force? Go ahead.
And then
Continue.
he's in his grandmother's backyard.
Continue.
All right, and so now we've seen his brother protest. Stevante is his name, the brother's name, and I to me, I felt it was important. Is you all right?
Yeah, I'm right.
Okay, to me, you stupid. I thought maybe it was like, shit, did he need his medicine?
Well, I just gave an example there. I'm acting like he did. So, are you going to take me seriously by doing that?
Okay.
Give you a little visual. You okay?
I'm not Catholic. I just felt compelled to cross myself. All right. So now, okay. So his name is Stevante, and I felt compelled to find his name because they're calling him, Stephon Clarke's brother. Stephon Clarke's brother. His name is actually Stevante.
Stevante.
Okay. Now, he has protested by interrupting, as you saw Donovan giving an example.
I interrupted.
Protesting city hall meetings by chanting his brother's name, running around the room, and hopping on the dais in front of the mayor, chanting, and then he got other people to do it as well. We've also seen him on a plethora of television interviews. Specifically, he was on Don Lemon's show where Don Lemon, and I'm not a big fan of Don Lemon.
I'm not either.
But we saw where Don Lemon was trying to, he's talking to him, first of all, I know you're grieving. I'm sorry for you. He came at him that way. And then the brother is just Stefante. And so Don Lemon was like, hello.
Right.
It was awkward. And so Don Lemon is trying to talk to him, but then he was like, chant his name. Say his name, Don. I know you know how you are, and we're black, two black people together. Let's not front and all, just. Then the people in the back, wherever he was chanting the name, and so it was to the point to where Don Lemon was like, you know what?
Get the fuck off my show. Mm-hmm.
I'm done. He was nice about it, but I'm paraphrasing, and I'm sure he was thinking what you just said.
Mm-hmm. Get the fuck off my show.
Right. And so I'm trying to do. I don't know if a compare and contrast is the right thing here, but I guess I want to say, what has he accomplished for his brother? That. And I got a point that I'm making here. Now, I would also like to say, and I wish I could have found her name, but he had a cousin, a female cousin, who eloquently spoke about what Stevante is going through. She says, this is the second brother that he's lost, I think, since 2015, 16 or something like that. Mm-hmm. One brother was 19, and then the brother, Stephon, I think is 22. So he said he lost an older brother and a younger brother. So she said what you guys are witnessing, which I truly believe this, that what we're witnessing is him going through post-traumatic stress syndrome, and that, he's never gotten help, and he's just in shock. So she said, along with losing his brothers, he's also losing his mind.
Okay, well, let me ask you this. Post-traumatic stress syndrome is you're in an environment, and there's all kinds of causes to it. Mm-hmm. So he didn't necessarily witness his brother getting executed. I understand that. He didn't necessarily witness that. So would it be post-traumatic stress, or is he just in shock?
I mean, it could be. I'm just telling you what she said, because I don't know.
I don't think that's PTSD.
Yeah, but whatever it is, he's been mentally affected. Which I think anybody losing just a brother, hell, some people lose a cat, and they're beside. I was speaking, and your body language indicated I was talking to you, okay? And I wasn't even like thinking about you.
Yes, it is true. When I thought Tylen was missing, I became a basket case.
Right. So you thought you lost a cat.
Right.
And have lost other cats.
Yes.
You know, and
I broke down.
It was traumatic for you. So this dude has lost a brother, not one, but two. Yeah. So it's plausible that he is going through something now. I would say this because I think that
that's what I believe too, Tay.
I thought I would be remiss in saying, not saying that.
Okay, wait. Tay says, I think it's a combination of mental health issues and the losses of the brother.
Right. And that's also what the cousin was saying, that she said it's amazing that we have so many other, and because she was also piggybacking off the fact that Stevante was saying that we need a resource center in the hood, where we live and stuff. And she was saying because it's amazing that we don't have, she said, where are all these mental health people, these psychologists and people to help folks like Stevante to deal with trauma and things like that.
The budget was cut. We can't do that. Just like we got rid of
but even if there wasn't any budget, she specifically said, where are all the black, mental health specialists? And I agree with that. Right. And so
there's no money in the hood.
My thing is, I watched that interview, I thought, okay, like at the funeral, and I'm going to tie into my point.
Sure. No, go
but at the funeral, we saw all these dignitaries there, and they saw Stevante. At one point, it said he did a casket dive. He dived on the casket, and even when Al Sharpton was speaking, he was just beside.
And notice Al Sharpton always shows up when it's a high-profile case,
right? But that's what I'm saying. All these people showed up, and I'm not saying they didn't, but did they get this man some help? Did they call Dr. Phil or Ayala or somebody? Anybody and say he needs some help?
Did anybody take him under the wing and say, "I'm going to take the Action Network money and get this guy"?
And because Al Sharpton made a good point, and I've said this too. You can't tell anybody how to grieve.
Right.
That is how he's grieving. But this is the point that I'm making. So you have these two cases. You have David Hogg, and you have Stevante Clarke. Now, obviously, I know David Hogg is a white guy who's got benefit from white privilege, and so people are going to tend to listen to him. But to me, it just seems like maybe Stevante wasn't the one to be the spokesperson for the family, because all he's gotten, and I'm not saying it's fair, but all he's gotten is ridicule.
Yeah.
He hasn't really gotten a lot of his points about the resource center and all that stuff in regards to his brother hasn't really been heard over the fact that you see him, he was hopping on the dais, he was doing this, he was acting crazy with Don Lemon, and now he dove on the casket and all this other stuff.
Right. Shantae says the Atlanta Voice published a great article about Stevante Clarke and how the media needs to stop policing his grief.
I agree with that, but just because I'm in the field of public relations, I also this is just me.
Yeah.
I felt like, because when I heard the cousin speak, I'm like, well, why isn't she doing the speaking?
Yeah,
because her voice was so powerful, but she was, articulate. She got the point across, and she made everything. I didn't disagree with anything that she said, But so I thought, why didn't they have somebody like her speaking? Because obviously the grief is too much for him, and he's not, the point that he's trying to get across is not getting across because people are focusing unfairly and some fairly on his delivery.
That's my brother. You can't speak for my brother. It's my brother. I'm going to speak for him. I don't care what you say. I'm going to talk to Don Lemon.
That's when the family gets a tranquilizer and they harpoon his ass, okay? And put his ass in the padded cell to the room until he get himself together. But it's not
helpful.
It's not helpful.
Yeah.
And so I'm just like, maybe Stevante is not the one to do the speaking.
Right.
Maybe not now.
And do the public.
Because I always say this. If I was a God forbid, I was to lose my child. Yeah. I wouldn't be on no TV.
Right.
They'd had me hog-tied some damn where, shoving tranquilizers down my throat every 8 hours. I wouldn't be the one to get on TV. I'd probably be worse than my hair sticking up now, all over the TV.
Well, you saw how I was.
Crying.
You saw how I was about Thailand,
right? So,
and he was just missing.
So I'm not saying. I think it's wrong for people, as Tay said. I think it's wrong for people to attack him and his grieving methods. But I do wonder how come nobody, all these people around them, are not saying, okay, we need to sit Stevante down.
Yeah.
Until he's able to come to terms with what he's going on. You know what? And I don't know her name. Forgive me. But we should put his cousin up there, who is a beautiful speaker.
Yeah.
I'm not even speaking physically. She's beautiful physically. Yeah. But she can garner the attention they need.
Well, here's a disclaimer. For that family, that grieving family, if you need a good spokesperson, we are renting Dee out for $1,200 an hour, and she could be your family spokesman.
I'll pay a whole lot in that 12 hours.
Yes, exactly. So we can always do that. Shantae says she agrees with you. Absolutely, you're right. I think her name was Jamila Land.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, Jamila. That's who they need to have out there.
Or DK.
Well, just somebody who is gonna be able to, because I'm sure she's grieving too.
Yeah, but
you can tell when she's speaking, she's grieving, but it wasn't just the whole.
Yeah, you need somebody that's going to be calm and articulate the message that needs to get out there, so that people don't focus on the
antics, if you will.
Yeah, the antics.
Yeah, right. and I don't know his brother. I've been to some funerals and I've seen some shenanigans going on. I've seen people running around the church.
I've actually saw Sister May pull off her wig, run down the street. I mean, taking off her clothes.
Right. We've seen it all.
Yeah, we've seen it. It's crazy.
So his brother's behavior is not unnormal. Or abnormal, rather. We've seen people dive on the casket, and the ushers are pulling them back, and we've seen it all. But I just think he needs, get yourself together, brother, so that you can go forth and your brother's name not be in vain,
right? And forgotten. And and here's another thing that I'm going to add to that. It's like when we were coming up. There's nothing wrong with living a hip hop lifestyle, whatever, but to avoid those kind of things, strive to get out of that kind of environment.
Well, that or not even maybe to get out, because I think a lot of times we focus on trying to get out of the hood opposed to improving the hood. Right.
Tay said when she was on the Honor Guard in the Air Force that she got pushed on the casket during a flight, and that's a joke that they do when you're the lowest ranking person or something.
They push you on the casket?
Yeah, they say go guard the stiff, and you sit back there. Because you don't want to buy them by themselves. So I'm familiar with that. And she says, our people have a tendency to do the most.
We do. But you know what? That's what makes us part of who we are.
Right. We're very animated.
You go to our church on Easter Sunday.
Oh, Lord. Everybody's dressed to the nines.
Sister so-and-so and all
the big old hats.
Got hats. You can't even see the pool pit.
Oh, yeah.
Because the hats, they have to dismantle it to get it in the dough. So, we do the most, but that's just black people. And that's part of the beauty of black people. We going to show up to show
like
out.
Peacocks. Yeah, we are what we gonna very animated.
And, of course, especially in funerals, it's always that auntie or somebody and the family ain't seen in 30 years.
Right, or that girlfriend that you didn't know about.
Which I've seen that personally at my stepfather's funeral. Yes. They was popping up like popcorn in there. It was like, well, who's that? Right. It was to the point to where we had to stop crying and shit was funny. It's like, well, we didn't know about that one.
Right, another family comes out.
I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
Bad. You was...
Yeah, Rolling Stone.
He was single, but he had all these women, which is, a whole other story. But so, we can't tell Stevante how to grieve. It's just, I think
his message is getting buried.
It is. And that's why, and I'm not trying to say that he is on the same, him or David Hogg are on the same playing field, because we know that they're not. However, since you guys now have the national platform for unfortunate reasons, I don't think anybody will want that platform for nothing in the world. But since you have it, play the hand that you've been dealt with, because we've seen these kids, and again, I know it's because they white, But we've seen him on Time Magazine. We've seen him on all these
Next Leader,
all the places.
Exactly.
Yes, we've seen him. So
yeah, and and if you guys know anything about history, John Kerry, he was a returning Vietnam veteran. He was only 27 years old at the time when he got to talk in front of Congress, and they had never seen a young person so elegantly speaking on what was going on in Vietnam. And guess what? He ended up becoming a senator and a Secretary of State, and married and married an heiress to a
presidential candidate.
Yeah.
Right,
South
Africa.
So they kind of are grooming these people and pointing them out.
Well, yeah, so that's really all I have about that. Now, somebody brought up the fact that STEPHON'S Clarke's girlfriend, I guess she spoke out and we haven't seen it. I guess it just recently happened. Now, we've seen a lot of heard and seen a lot of conversation in regards to STEPHON Clarke's tweets in regards to how he felt about black women. And let's just say he didn't like black women much, if not at all. And neither did his Asian girlfriend that he was so proud to talk about, her being Asian. And
wouldn't that be an oxymoron, though?
What do you mean?
He doesn't like black women, and she doesn't care for black women either, and she's living with a black man.
Well, so I guess it's a different thing. You don't have to like black women, but you can like the black man. I don't know.
Right. Real quick, Daryl Terrell, Mr. Moreno Valley says funerals have become family reunions.
Unfortunately, I would say that the last time I really got together with my family was at a funeral. Right. The whole family.
The whole family, minus me.
Right.
Yeah, minus me.
So. Next time somebody dies, we'll have to make sure.
Yeah, make sure you go there. I wanted to console Afro Thunder.
So there's been a lot of chatter around that being that he didn't like black women. A lot of tweets have surfaced with some pretty nasty things that he said about black women. So now you have this divide in the black community. Mostly it's black women saying, we're not going to support him anymore. Let the Asian community support him.
Right, but regardless of what he said, does he deserve to die?
No, and I don't think that's even their argument that he deserved to die. But they're saying since he hated us so, and they being black women,
let him go to the community that he loves.
Mourn for him.
Right.
But then on the other hand, it's like, okay, to your point, regardless, he still didn't deserve to die, this, that, and the other. I just feel like this. I could straddle the fence, but I'm not going to. Because I say it's a distraction. Yeah. Lord knows black people have enough stuff to be distracted in the fight over. Hell, black men and women already fighting.
Yeah,
the last thing we need to fight is over some tweets from. Yeah. Just because he dead don't mean I can't call him ignorant.
Right.
For some tweets from a very ignorant person who had no knowledge of self. Last thing we need to do is be divided and say, see, we told y'all black men ain't nothing.
Regardless of who a person chooses to love or be with, if you're in my community, I'm going to support you in the aspect of, your situation, if it's in the right situation. I'm not going to just say, well, let them handle it. It is our responsibility to support our own.
I agree with that, but just kind of knowing he felt like that, I would be lying to say it's not a little tough.
It is. It is tough.
To get 100% behind him. Because a lot of articles that I was reading this morning in regards to it, Black Lives Matter, regardless of how you feel about the organization, they were started by black women who, in addition to some of the Sacramento Kings, are starting a fund for his children. And so the very women you didn't like
are there supporting
your seeds after you were murdered by police officers who didn't care that you didn't like black women.
Right. But then again, that's his ignorance and his thing.
But again, we still should not let that divide us because we already have enough things to be divided about. And then you have a lot of black women, and I'm going to call them ignorant, are putting that ideology that STEPHON embodied on all black men. See, black men don't like black women. And all black, we told you black, I saw, I can't remember, China Fox is her name. She was on this tangent about not supporting him, not getting behind him. She said, N-words ain't shit, all this other stuff, because of him. And it's like, I don't know black men who act like that toward black women because I don't surround myself with them. I'd rather not. Right. And so I think it's unfair to take that argument from that little boy. To me, he's a little boy. He was 22. He was a child, didn't know his asshole from his elbows. They're going to take that and then cast that on all black men
Yeah,
and say,
that's
see,
wrong.
we told you.
That's wrong, because I know a lot of black women that sleep with white men, Mexican men, whatever, and you don't see me chastise because, like, my rule is, why should they be happy?
Well, my thing is, it's your own. Do what you want to do.
Do what
That's
you
your
want to do.
business.
Love who you want to love.
I can't tell you who to sleep with, and I don't want you telling me who to sleep with.
But one thing I do want is you to be happy.
Be happy, but at the same time, I mean, like I said, I could be on both sides of the fence, but at the end of the day, another black man who will not be the last was murdered. An unarmed black man was murdered unjustly. Like, murder is unjust, right? But was murdered. So regardless of how he felt, to me, it'd be different if he was going to be the last black man murdered by the police. Okay. But we know that's not, so we need not to get distracted by him and his girlfriend. I don't know what she would have to say, but if she hates black women, maybe she should give that money that these black women are going to raise for him. And hell, just even think about it. Because I don't want to have one side of the conversation without having the other. While he hated these black women, his grandmama is chocolate, is all outdoors. His mama, his cousin Jamila, who was speaking on his behalf as a black woman. You mean you hated those black women too? No shade to the daddy.
That's a young man. That's a young man.
I ain't seen his daddy.
Right, and you probably won't.
I don't know if the dad, maybe he just can't speak. Maybe he's grieving. I don't know what the daddy's. I know. I'm just saying, I'm giving him benefit of the doubt.
Give him the benefit of the doubt. Thank you.
I've only seen his black female relatives out there stomping, and his brother, but, stomping on behalf of his murder. And so I almost wonder, too, this is a discussion that we have to have. How did he get that ideology about black women? Because it seemed like he had some pretty dominant, I don't know. I'm sure, just like the media does, something will come out negatively about his mama and the grandma. I'm sure some bad stuff will come out because that's just how they do.
She's on food stamps,
right, or crack or something. I'm not saying that she is.
She's busted for prostitution.
But how did he get that way? Because from what I understand, I haven't seen anything, so I'm just going to put this out there. The brother, Stephon'S, also felt that way or feels that way about black women. So where are they getting that from?
Yeah, and usually when they do get that, it's
learned.
It's learned behavior. Right?
I think for me, when I have spoken to men who feel like that about black women, it's either directly related to how they saw their dad treat black women,
or how they saw a man treat their mother,
or how their mom treated them.
Right.
Because I've had a conversation with a guy who says, he's mixed, and he says, sometimes I wish my mom was white instead of being black, just by some of the stuff she does and she says, and he went through, and so. I don't know what the Clarke's boys' situation was and is. I don't know, but that's what I'm interested in knowing. How did they get like that?
And one thing I want to know is, was the father ever in the picture in a family structure? Because like I said, the destruction of the black family, that is so, that shows you how important that family unit is. Your mom and dad divorced, but you guys had that structure of a family unit.
Oh, absolutely.
And even after your mom and dad separated, you still know who you are. You still have your relationships with your father.
And all I've been with is black men. So I've never had a hate for black men because I don't understand that.
And when she says black men, she means Big Daddy Kane black men.
Well, they've been all colors, you know. But I've only been with black men. That's just my choice because my daddy is black. But I never understood because I hear a lot of black women say, I'm done with black men. Black men, there's black men, and I just can't stand black men. Black men ain't shit. I've heard them say that, and to me, that's a very foreign concept, and I don't understand it because all I've known is a loving relationship with a black man, one being my father.
Right.
And, I've had some issues with black men because that's all I've dated, but I never attributed the issues I've gone through to
race.
all. I'm done, girl. I'm checking out. I've never said that. So I don't understand that. So I don't know if personally somebody's been through something to where there's like, you know what, I'm done. I don't know.
Shantae says he probably dated a couple of horrible chicks and that changed his perspective on black women. He probably dated a couple of black women that were terrible, and it changed his perspective.
Well, I mean, that's true. I mean, and all of that could be true, but I just think you're 22.
Yeah, you don't know nothing.
Yeah, I mean, how many women have you truly dated? 22, and he's got 2 kids. The oldest one looked like is about 4 or 5. So it's probably been with her for a very long time. Let's say the oldest child is 5. He's 22. That makes him roughly 17, 16. Mm-hmm. So how many relationships has he truly been in?
Right, exactly.
Unless there's some janky ass little black girls out there.
Right. I mean, in all the drama, I go through with black women, I haven't given up yet.
Right.
I mean,
so to me, and I'll tell you, I'm not saying you're wrong. You might be right. Maybe he had some bad relationships, but I just think that's learned from somewhere.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Whether it's from his mama. I don't know, his daddy, something has triggered him and his brother, because it sounds like it's his brother too, into thinking very ill of black women. And so, I don't know, for me, it just, I want to know how they got that way. That's, to me, is the more interesting question or argument or discussion, instead of saying, well, we're not going to march for him because he didn't like black women. Am I sweating?
Yeah, I forgot to put the AC on. I'm sorry.
That's okay. And I got my sweater on too. Yeah. Thank you. Mm-hmm. So to me, that's that's where I think we should be finding, where we should be going with this whole discussion. How did he develop such self-hate? Right.
Ashante says something very, very, very poignant. Mm-hmm. You give up on your people, you give up on yourself.
Oh, absolutely. But I mean, per the tweets, it didn't sound like he had a problem with giving up on himself. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It sounded like that was more, I don't have a problem with that. He didn't even want to, and his girlfriend, they didn't even want to label their sons as being black. Mm. He was, boasting about the fact, he was actually went on, now this is the other cold part, it's like, sometimes I wish God would just give us like 2020 vision before it becomes 2020, because he was, rallying for the whole all lives matter thing. He kept saying on the tweets, wow, all lives matter. What about my sons? They're Indian and Chinese or whatever she is.
In this country, they're depicted as black.
Right, but he was making an argument that they weren't. What about their lives? All lives matters was what he was, rallying
and that's how lost he is. Mm-hmm. Even though I'm depicted as a black man, I have a bunch of cultures in me. So, right. Am I black?
No, America's going to see you as black.
Exactly.
Regardless.
So let's just say black.
But he had that ignorance that a lot of people have. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it says, Shante says, young minds don't think things through. They act, then think. You give up on your, that's what she says.
Well, and then a lot of times too, and this is where the whole social media thing comes in. We were talking about the Facebook Live shooting that took place, and we can couple this with that. Is a lot of times people don't realize you leave a digital footprint. Mm-hmm. I guarantee you why him and his girlfriend were hee-hawing and yucking it up about black women and all this other stuff. I guarantee you, let's just put it on her now because she's the only one that's here. She probably never in a million years thought that she would lose her man by the hands of murdering police and then have to answer for such hateful tweets about the same women who are out there marching and raising money on behalf of your dead baby daddy.
Exactly.
So we got to be careful of the stuff we put out there. He thinking it's funny. I like my only thing I want black is my Xbox. Mm-hmm. I don't like dark. Exactly. That's just like.
Shante says, I would like to know why he felt that way, but sometimes these young men think that having an exotic female is gold.
That kind of goes back to the whole argument that we always argue. The white man's ice is colder than ours. Mm-hmm. And, really just from slavery, you guys have been taught that your black woman is undesirable. And when we got out of slavery, it's like, well, shit, I'm finna go give me one of them.
Right, exactly.
Exactly. I want one of them because that woman is better than my woman because in your eyes, and since we've been over here, you've been told that white women are the cream of the crop, the most desirable.
I don't see it, but go ahead.
But that's what you guys have been told. And so when you were able to go do that, you went with everybody but your woman.
Right.
But
that's the same argument as when it comes to the hair too. We think, straight hair is better, so good girl that has.
Well, because we've been taught for so long that our hair was not desirable. Hell, if we live in 2018, where women can't even, or men either, can't go to work with dreadlocks because it's against the law.
Mm-hmm. Right, against a policy.
I couldn't go to work with my hair like this if I had a job. Mm-hmm. I would have to do something to it because I'm sure somebody will find that undesirable.
Until you get up there and then you start making decisions, changing it from within.
But then once but see, you think about that, in order for me to get up there, I'd have to totally assimilate.
Yes.
You know, I'd have to have that silky hair.
Yeah, initially.
You know, just like Barbara Ann.
Right. But unfortunately, that is the only way things are going to change because you can't change it from the outside looking in.
The only thing that's going to change is when black people start embracing themselves and exuding self-love and start practicing group economics. That's how it's going to change.
Well, I understand what you're saying, but like in the military, you had these girls that would come in, and Shantae could back me up on this, and, you know, they would come in and say, oh, this is my ethnic hair, you know, and they had a policy where you can't be putting all these braids up there where you can't get your hat on. Now, I know the military is a different type organization, but this is what I used to tell those young girls. I understand what you're saying, but until you become the general and the leader, it ain't going to change.
Well, I mean, I think that's kind of some of the stuff, you know, going in that they're not going to allow you to be you because essentially that's what that is. I mean, white women, their hair grows naturally, you know, the way it does. And this is how my hair grows. I've never had the type of hair that will grow down.
I used to have
my hair grows up.
Yeah, I had a troop. She highlighted her hair, and the military reg says it has to be natural looking. I said that's not natural looking.
Well, that's a given. But I'm saying,
but you have these young girls about I want purple hair. No, that's not going to work.
Well, you know, in the military, you can't do those things.
But no, you can if you controlled how the rules go. That's why you got to be the commanding general.
Right.
So, but Tay also says, but how you dislike black folks and live in a black ass neighborhood?
He was mentally dead. Like I said, just because he's dead, I can't say what he really was. He was mentally dead, and he suffered from he suffered from something. You know, lack of knowledge, self-love, just all of it. Like you said, I mean, then go move to Koreatown or whatever your girlfriend was, but they wouldn't have your black ass over there because I guarantee you, they weren't going to her house as much as they was coming to his house.
Right, that's true.
Her family's probably like, shit, you crazy. Those your babies, they ain't ours. Because I don't watch TV, but I haven't heard anything about her people up there mourning at the city hall and any of that stuff.
With all these protests going on, all the black people are involved in it. The man just got murdered. I don't see not one white person, Korean, Chinese, whatever, up and, you know, protesting the city hall. I don't see not one of them. Right.
And so, and like some people said, in all fairness, where are her people? The people that he more identified with and shunned his own people. Where are they at?
Right.
And so, but again, I say to us, let's not get distracted. That's a distraction. We already got enough problems. He was an ignorant little boy. Let's just call it what it is. He's an ignorant little boy who had no knowledge of self. Did not love you. You don't, like Shantae said, if you don't love yourself, if you don't, I mean, you can't give up on your people, and that's what he did. And he thought somebody taught him, and I also saw this, so no shade to your boy, that he was probably a follower of somebody like Tommy Sotomayor, who does nothing but degrade black women, have made a lot of money and got a lot of fame and notoriety by dragging the mess out of black women.
Now, how many times have I told you that is not what he does?
Well, what does he do?
I told you what he does is he puts a narrative out there to let men know, stop dealing with this type of female. Stop. These things are happening.
He don't say these type of females.
His delivery.
He says black women.
Right, of course.
He says black women.
And he uses his life as an example.
That's fine, but but the point that I'm making is,
stop talking about my leader.
I'm just putting the blame where some of the damn blame is due.
The blame is due on the black women who are raising these children.
I wouldn't even doubt that dude has spent some time with, if not Tommy, with people like Tommy.
Sure.
Listening to that, because it's dangerous. That is dangerous.
I'm going to disagree with you. I'm going to disagree with you.
Wait, before you disagree. On the YouTube channel, my YouTube channel, I can't tell you how many times I've had to block somebody from calling me an ignorant black bitch, a hoe. Somebody called me a hoe yesterday. They don't know me from a hole in the wall.
Right.
I've been called all kinds of stuff.
Is Al on the way?
No.
Okay. Let's say Al about to kick some ass.
You call me what you want as long as you don't put your hands on me. But the point that I'm making is, I didn't deserve those type of things. But I guarantee you, those are the type of people who listen to Tommy.
Okay.
To think that it's okay to call me a black woman who was very educated, who has not done anything but try to spread knowledge, black hoe.
But here's the thing. See, and this is what you keep forgetting. Do you see how you have knowledge of self? Where did you get that?
I learned it, and
wait. You learned it where?
I learned it from my family.
Thank you.
And then I went to acquire more.
Okay, right. Absolutely. So the foundation of what you learned is from your mother, which is your first teacher,
right,
and your father.
And my father.
Right. Okay. Now, what is the problem that I keep saying?
Yeah.
And if you listen to Tommy, that's what he's saying. If the women are the first teachers and they're doing this, his foundation of self should have been taught to him in a family structure of his mother, if that's all he has.
Okay, but
there you go. I got you.
We not gonna let his black ass daddy off the hook.
No, we're not. No. But what I'm saying is, my father died at 25. My mom didn't remarry for years later.
Right.
My knowledge of self, I got from my mother. Yeah, I'm chauvinistic in a way that I think should be chauvinistic.
We're not talking about in the cases of when your dad passes away, because I'm sure that you learned knowledge of self, not only from your mom, but I'm sure you had grandfathers and other people you could learn something from.
Absolutely.
Now,
but that's my point. Do you see what I'm saying?
Right. But we not, listen, I always say this, I will ride for black women, but I ain't gonna lie for black women. But another thing I ain't gonna do is allow black women to continuously get drugged or dragged, I should say. Right. Through the mud unnecessarily.
Right.
Now, we're not going, yes, the mother is the first teacher, but it is not her job to teach him or her by herself. It is also the job of the father. We can't keep saying, calling black women bitches and hoes and this, that, and the other.
But if black women are dancing to songs like bitch, this, and that.
But who songs are they dancing to?
Cardi B.
That ain't there. Well, who was they dancing to before Cardi B came along?
Little Kim.
Your boy Too Short could call somebody a bitch and a hoe.
Of course, but
all of them.
Little Kim, Foxy Brown.
Okay, but who pioneered that before they
MC
did?
Light.
You ain't
gotta get a roughneck.
Okay, but she still was not that was what she was saying, and even still, I like the song. Right. I like MC Light.
Okay, let's agree to agree on this.
Okay.
It takes all of us together collectively. You need a foundation to do that. Obviously, this boy didn't have that foundation.
Right. Okay, and so
because there's no way I'm going to be dragging a black woman and calling her bees, because I love my mom to death. Right. We have our differences. Right. But I don't do it for the simple fact that my mom taught me better.
Right. And so that's all I'm saying. I'm saying somebody like him probably listened to a lot, maybe not Tommy, but somebody like Tommy who thinks it's a great idea to degrade black women. And I'm not saying some of the stuff that Tommy says is not true, but a lot of his delivery and his rhetoric is just horrible.
Right.
And so let's say that somebody like Clarke didn't have a male role model in his life, and he gets a hold of somebody like Tommy, who has shaped his idea of who black women are, and I should just be with an Asian woman. Okay. Or somebody who's exotic.
That's a weak-minded individual.
Well, he's a child, too.
Right, exactly.
Who's only 22.
Because I listen to Tommy Sotomayor, and yet you don't see me talk about, I agree with what his message and how he's saying
you're a grown man, too. He was 22. I'm not chronologically, he was grown, but he was a child.
I agree with you.
So, he was probably,
the maturity level's not there yet.
And I'm not saying he listened to Tommy, but...
Yeah, where he can decipher bullshit from what the message actually is. Tommy's saying, if you don't want these problems, stop. Like me, I can't deal with a ratchet woman and wife her up. No, I'll have fun with the ratchet woman, but I'm not going to wife. You see what I'm saying? And that's the message you get out of there.
Right.
You can't expect to deal with foo and expect, things to be happening when she's on drugs or she's out there in the club and,
At the end of the day, we need to strive to be there for each other and help each other, because regardless of the differences we have as black men and women, we all are going to go down together or we're going to come up together. There is no, I'm with this kind of man or that kind of woman, so they ain't going to see me that way.
Yeah, because I'm telling you, when the lifeboats go out and you don't meet their demographic, you're going to be in the ocean swimming by yourself.
Listen, I was with an Asian woman, so I ain't with them Negroes.
Yeah, they will not let you in their community. And that's human nature.
Yep. Black people gonna rise together, or we gonna fall together. There is not gonna be no in between. So that's the decision we need to make.
And that's another reason why we talk about South Africa and stuff like that, because I don't, even though I dated some Nigerians in my day and stuff like that, and they don't like us and we don't like them per se. I don't like how they dog us out here, but yet they still have the same skin color as I am. I'm still going to support my black people.
We are all Africans at the end of the day.
Right. So I'm still going to support them, how we do it. But a few seconds left. You got any announcements? Anything that's coming up?
Not that I know of.
Okay.
Oh, my birthday's coming. You guys can send all kind of gifts and stuff. No,
you want to do that. Dee has also been directing on a Facebook Live page that she's been doing. I was featured on the show. If you guys get a chance to check it out, I shared on my commentary. Please check that out. Shantae will be on the show every now and then when she gets a chance to come out here, and we've got other special guests coming up. Political season is coming, so get ready. It's going to get hot. You can check out DK on Sundays, 3 p.m. You guys tune into that because that is a wild show. Because she lets them have it. And again, we're going to be putting up a lot of videos, keep you guys informed. Please continue to tune in. If you want to know what's going on in Moreno Valley politics and Warehouse Empire, tune in. You're in the right place at the right time. All right, Shantae,